Hey yo, Bloodwing here. Back to bring some grumpiness to your internet, and welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where you get an extra healthy side helping of hot apple pie a la mode.
Oh,
Ooh, that sounds good. I want some ice cream. I just want ice cream.
I want a nice hot apple pie with vanilla ice cream all over it. The apple pie has to be really hot,
Yep.
and I want some apple pie.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, as my peppo used to say, want in one hand and spit in the other. See which one gets full quicker.
I like that.
Yeah. Redneckisms.
Why did Jen say hi, Bloodwing, and hi, Alex? Dot.
I don't know. Her excitement level did seem to tip a little bit there between the two highs, didn't
I see how it is, Jen.
it? Oh, so as I said, this is Redneck Radio, and with me, as always, if you haven't figured it out already, is Irate Bear or Irate Alex, whatever you want to call him.
Just call me Alex or call me Bear. I really don't care. Hello. I hope everyone is having a lovely Saturday so far today. And of course, welcome back to Redneck Radio. Remember, guys, you can support the live stream. You can support Bloodwing by dropping a like, sharing the stream. And maybe, you've been paid this week, guys. Give him your money. You have Super Chat and you have Streamlabs. And it helps keep the lights on for Mr. Wing here. So
it absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely does. It is no lie that my cable bill is paid out of the money I make from this. If it weren't for you guys, I would no longer be online at the moment.
Exactamundo. Yeah, if you enjoyed the show, put $1 in the jar, and it'll help keep the interwebs on.
There you go. Plus, you just helped me buy my nice new coffee maker and keep the old man caffeinated.
He was talking shit about you lot like before the stream started. He was like, if them goddamn subscribers of mine actually gave me some real money, I could have bought a decent coffee maker, not one that goes ding when it's done.
It doesn't go ding; it goes beep 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 when it's through brewing, and then 2 hours later, because it's got an auto shut off on the burner part of it, so it doesn't burn your coffee up. It makes the same noise. I'm like, oh, that's annoying. But
wow. It's still a coffee maker,
That's right.
That's right. You didn't have one.
Yeah, during that one night I didn't have one. I tried to make do by making a couple of cups of hot tea, because we do have some tea bags around here. My wife drinks it. And it just wasn't the same. I mean, the tea was nice. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy a cup of tea once in a while, but just wasn't the same. And then Wednesday morning, when I woke up before I was able to go buy the machine, I had one little package of instant coffee that I have no idea where I got it, because I don't drink instant coffee. Good God, that was nasty.
The way that you talk about coffee, mate.
Do what?
The way that you talk about coffee, mate, like you make it sound like you basically eat it out of the packet. Like I wouldn't imagine like instant coffee would put you off.
Oh, it's awful. It is just awful. You'd think after all these years, I mean, they've had instant coffee since what, the 50s? At least you'd think that they'd be able to get it to taste closer to real fresh brewed coffee than it does. But no, it tastes like sewer water.
Bloodwing knows what sewer water tastes like, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's a story right there.
Yeah. Well, it's what I imagine it tastes like. Now, don't get me wrong. I drank it.
Of course you did.
I downed that cup before I went to go take the granddaughters to school, because I needed the caffeine. But Yeah, anything that keeps me from drinking that swill, I'm down with it.
You're on about caffeine. Like, I'm surprised you didn't just bite the bullet and have a bloody can of Monster or something.
I'm a little apprehensive about drinking Monster or any of those similar products, like the stuff that comes in the little bottles. What do they call that? The little shots,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen those.
because
Those are horrible, by the way.
those have things in it besides caffeine. And
They do.
I'm an old man, and my body ain't what it used to be, and I don't need to throw it into some kind of freaking stroke.
They usually have things like taurine in them,
Yeah.
which is a synthetic, I believe. Usually ginseng as well, which is actually quite healthy, but you mix it in with the rest of Monster, and it's not healthy anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. It probably might kill you. You have a mouthful of it, you'd be alright, probably. But I doubt you'd like the taste.
Probably
They have a
not.
coffee Monster, don't they? In
Uh,
America, anyway.
yeah, but it's probably that foo-foo stuff. See, I don't drink. When I say I drink coffee, people, that's what I drink is coffee. No sugar, no cream, just black coffee.
Oh, Scotsman, it does. Taurine does not come from bull jizz. I don't know who started that rumor, but it's not true. You can Google it. You can see where it comes from. I'm fairly sure it's a synthetic. It does not come from bull jizz.
I'm pretty sure we probably unknowingly put worse things in our body than that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we both smoke for a start.
Yeah,
And
hopefully. I've got half a bag of tobacco left, which will probably last me about another 5-6 days. So I'm hoping at the end of that I can spur myself to say, okay, that's it, I quit.
Well, that'd be good if you do.
Yeah,
That'd be good if you do. You see, you every so often. I know that you every so often treat yourself. You have yourself a nice tailor-made cigarette rather than a one you've rolled yourself. Just like me. And these cigarettes have thousands of chemicals in them, including like 3 different types of rat poison.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, well, nicotine in and of itself has been used as a rat poison. So
yeah, because nicotine actually is incredibly poisonous.
yes, it is. Mama Minnie in the chat. Hey, baby.
And yes, may the 4th be with you as well, my sister from Manila Vista. I hope you're well today.
Yeah, she's a huge Star Wars nerd. So, but yeah, and I hope you all caught the reference in the title of the stream. This is the stream you're looking for, rather than these aren't the droids you're looking for.
There you go. Nice little Star Wars reference. We can all put that to bed now. Stop talking about your nerdy fandom.
Yeah. Careful, Bear, careful. Nerds run the world, you know. Truck and Bear. No, I have not had Death Wish coffee. I have heard of it. I'd like to try it sometime, and maybe sometime I will. I often say, and it's only half in jest, that I really died back in the 80s, but I've drank so much coffee and got so much caffeine in my system, my body hasn't got the message to just quit yet. So,
but caffeine is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jen's going to be 54 in 10 days' time, by the way.
You think? Somehow I don't think that's quite accurate.
Well, I don't know how old she is, and she's not parting with the date and the how old she is. So I'm just guessing 54. That'll do.
Early 30s, I think. I could be wrong on that, but we've had conversations, Jen and I, behind the scenes and so forth. And I'm thinking early 30s, probably about the same age as Mama Minnie there, who is about to turn this month, about to turn 32. So yeah, May is oh my gosh, it's a heck of a month for birthdays and anniversaries and whatnot in my family. It's killer.
Mm.
It's killer. Matter of fact, today is one of my grandson's birthdays, and another one will be in 3 days, and so on.
It's a lot of birthdays.
Oh yeah. Later this month, Mama Minnie's will be the 22nd of this month. My father's will be the 21st.
Mm.
My parents' anniversary was also this month. I have more grandkids than I've mentioned whose birthday is this month. May is just, I don't know what it is about May, but in my family, it's a killer.
Yeah, January and March are 2 months.
Yeah, four days. Mama Minnie's 4 days, and my youngest will be your youngest son, not your youngest kid, Mama Minnie. Come on. Bulldozer will be 9.
Mm. 9 years old.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Oh gosh, I know. My oldest grandchild is 14.
Oh, well, I would say I know how you feel, but I'm not as old as you. But my stepson is 14 now. I've been around since he was 3, so
Yeah, well, the party's over. I get along real good with kids. Little kids love me.
Mm.
They just love the death out of me. But once they turn teens, it's like there's a switch that flips in them, and they can't stand me. At least that's how it worked with my children.
I'll be back in a second, mate. All right.
Okay. So, chat, how you doing? Hope everybody out there is doing really good. Jen, I don't know what it is about May, but it's just a crazy month for birthdays. We have a ton of them. Hey, Jaeger Pony. Hey, Angel Munoz Variety Show. Hey, Viper Sword. Flying Falcon, puberty happens. Exactly. You know, because once puberty hit, whether they're a boy or a girl, it's just not cool to hang with dad. It's just not cool anymore, you know. Fortunately, they do grow out of that eventually once they start having kids of their own and realize, oh, geez, what a jerk I was. Opinionated Scotsman, my birthday is also this month. Hey. Cigar Chomping Penguin, hey, everybody. Maniac Man 2030, howdy. Viper Shorts is her birthday is next month. Mama Minnie, yes, she would. She would. She'd hang with me any day. She says I'd hang with my. Now she would, but ask her about when she was a teenager. We didn't get along there for a little while, and probably her going into the Marine Corps was the turning point where we were cool again. But you know, I don't get along real good with teenagers. I think it's probably the attitude, you know, because so many teenagers, and I know I was this way, think think they know everything, you know, and that you are the stupidest person in the world. Currently try to teach my oldest son to shave. Oh Lord, you need a man for that, honey. I'm not taking away and saying a woman can't do it, but a man can actually show them how to shave, you know, by doing it in front of them. Because it's different for a guy to shave than it is a woman. It's a different area, different skin. And
I'm back.
tricky. Hey, welcome back.
Mm.
Mama Manny just told me something that makes me feel really old. She's currently trying to teach my oldest grandson how to shave.
Oh,
Uh,
with the grain or against the grain?
I don't know. I just told her she really needs a man to do that for her because, and I'm not saying that a woman is inferior in any way, guys. No, it's just that a guy can do it by example. By lathering up, getting in front of the mirror and say, "Look, son, this is how you do this. You do this with the grain, and you do this and that, and yada yada. And if you nick yourself, here's how you solve that."
I think the only women who probably know how to shave a man properly are like female carers.
Yeah.
Because they have to, like, have to all the time. Like, so that they obviously get used to it over a period of time, unless they happen to work in like one of those barbers where they also do shaves as well.
Yeah, I actually, way back in the day when I was a teenager, taught my cousin, who was just a year younger than me, how to shave. I don't know why my uncle wasn't teaching him, but he swore he didn't know how to shave. So I took him in the bathroom and said, "This is how you do it."
I go against the grain.
Depends on what part of my face I'm doing.
Well, obviously you're capable of growing a beard, whereas I'm Gary from Team America, just patchy as anything. I shave it all against the grain, but that's just me. I know a lot of guys tend to go with the grain. I just prefer it to go against it.
It depends on what part of my face I'm shaving. If I'm on my face proper, on my jowls and so forth, I will go with the grain. On my neck, I actually will go both ways. I will first go against the grain, and then I will finish by going with the grain. Because
I go both ways on my top lip.
My neck hair tends to grow in every direction. It doesn't have a grain. It just it goes every which way.
Yeah. That's a good way of doing it, Faithless, shaving in the shower.
Yeah,
it's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. I know my face well enough that I can shave it without a mirror. Not that I've shaved any time recently. I probably haven't shaved in at least 4 years.
Lucky. I only shave like once or twice a week. I have no like need to stay clean shaven.
Oh my gosh. When I worked and ha 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 Blondie, Blondie, I knew blundering goes both ways. Yuck, yuck, yuck. When I worked and had to shave, I could get away with shaving twice a day. I didn't. I was like, screw you. I'm not shaving twice. Once is enough.
You're one of those guys, are you?
Yeah, I definitely had the 5 o'clock shadow going on.
Owen says hairless, but I'm just not a hairy guy, I guess.
Yeah. Well, my brother-in-law, whom I love dearly, heck of a guy, will literally give the shirt right off his back. But he can't grow a beard. I mean, he's like, how old is he now? He's about 4 years younger than I am and can barely grow a mustache. And you got to look close to see it because he's kind of a ginger.
It's just some blokes can, some blokes can't, I guess.
Yeah. I was one of those people that could sometimes get served at the age of 15 because I could grow enough facial hair. But not that I would have done that. No.
Yeah, naughty.
So, Bear, did you get your vote in the other day?
I did. Yes, I did get my votes in. And for those who don't know, it was local elections in the UK, so it's not really a big deal. But I still went and voted because I like to be a part of the democratic process. And we had 2 ballots for my area for different councillors. The first ballot had a choice of 3, 1 Labour, one Liberal Democrat and one Conservative. I voted Conservative on the first sheet. The second one had, I think it had about 7 or 8 candidates on it. All of them were either Liberal Democrat or Labour. There was no UKIP option. There was no Conservative option. There were no other options for anything, which I was very, very disappointed by. But I think the first ballot was for the councillor of the ward, and the second one was for councillors for the local government.
Right.
So I basically voted I think it was 2 Lib Dem and 1 Labour. So I still took part in the process. I didn't spoil my ballot, and it was a little bit strategic voting on my part anyway, because as I mentioned to you and other people on Twitter and to other people on Twitter, one of those Labour candidates is a scumbag. He's a well-known shitbag in my area. So I just voted for a bunch of other people other than him. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. And you all have heard me mention many times that I am a conservative. There's no way to deny that. I'm definitely conservative. That does not mean that I'm a Republican. In America, people think, oh, he's a conservative, he has to be a Republican. No, I'm not. And it's usually in local elections that I will take my time and go through the ballot and vote for whatever party they are, best suits what I want. It represents me. Now, in presidential elections, all but once I have voted Republican. And I will admit, I made a big mistake and voted for Obama on his first term. He had us all fooled.
Well, a lot of people didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. That was the first time that my state had went blue in decades. Decades. Do they give you the little sticker over there? Over here, when you go to vote, they give you that little sticker to stick on your shirt that says, I voted.
No. Well, at least not in my area anyway.
What? You got gypped.
They might do it elsewhere. I don't know if they do. They don't do it in my area. But then again, politicians just don't come around knocking on doors in this area either. So
yeah, you got ripped off. They should have at least give you a sticker or cookie or something. Give the man a cookie. So you got your vote in. Blunny Blondie, I didn't do his second term. No, I had figured him out, but after the first 4 years, like, no. But yeah. So you've got what else has been going on with you, man?
Oh well, there was the Today stream.
Yeah, which if you didn't watch it, you missed a treat because your favorite redneck grandpa was there. Usually not awake at that time, but real quick, thank you, Jaeger Pony, for the very generous donation. Been a while since I donated to anyone. Better get it out of my system. Have some shekels, old man. I'll take them, and thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
No, I'm going to private that stream, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you saw what happened today.
Yeah. You went off on a little bit of a bender. A little bit. Not much, just a little.
I had a bit of a flash.
Yeah.
Bit of a flash pan moment. I suppose we should talk about that. Look, I'm not one of these people that from the genre who took the piss out of, triggered lefties and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, if you want to block somebody, I really don't care. If you happen to explode at somebody, because you've been dealing with shit from that person or a particular group of people for a long period of time, I've never criticized anybody for that before. Do you know why? Because I'm guilty of it. I'm massively guilty of it. have a habit of going off the handle. And I take it really personally when people purposely take me out of context and accuse me of things I haven't done. I always have done. I probably always will do.
Yeah.
And that happened again today. And I said something about, we were going through those tweets, weren't we?
Right.
And there was a guy there. I was very disappointed to see that it was a former RAF regiment guy that was supporting Jess Phillips. Of course, when I say flash, I'm speaking in Jack speak, guys, naval terminology. Where flash means to be triggered. There was a ex-RAF regiment guy there, and I said, "Oh yeah, they're held to a close standard to the Royal Marines." I didn't say that they were like the Royal Marines. I didn't say that their training was exactly the same as the Royal Marines. I didn't say that they were the same as the Royal Marines. I said that they're held to a standard that is close to the Royal Marines, which is true that they are. It's not exactly the same. Obviously, the Royal Marines training is much harder, and they do way more stuff. And of course, some guy in the chat decided that I'd said, that they were the same as the Royal Marines. And this is something that happens to me quite a lot on YouTube in general. It happens in videos, it happens on live streams, and where it happened last week again on live stream again, where I end up being accused of something that I'm not doing or haven't done, and I'll have somebody hear something I said, and they'll just purposely block out part of the sentence so they can fit their little narrative, so they can get annoyed at me or whatever. And I've had enough of that. I've had enough of it.
Well, but previous to that, we had a few of them that were trying to accuse that we were moderating the chat, and not a single person up to that point had been moderated.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were trying to get at, to be honest with you. But here's how I feel about that. And I did have an opinion on it. I didn't want to talk about it on your stream today. But I'll say it now. Look, if you come on my chat on the stream like you all are here, and you all know I'm very lax about it. You have to try hard to get me to time you out. You have to really try hard. But here's the thing. If I do, I'm not affecting your free speech whatsoever. None. Mm-hmm. First of all, free speech laws don't apply to private platforms, and this is my own private platform. Secondly, you can go somewhere else and talk. I can't stop you from that. Mm-hmm. Thirdly, this is no different than me walking away. Let's say I ran into you downtown during some protest, and you start yelling garbage that I don't agree with in my face. One of the options that I have is to turn around and leave, because I don't have to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I see this as no different.
Yes, it's that's how I see it, really. If I boot you from my particular platform, or time you out, I'm not infringing on your free speech. You can still talk, just not on my platform.
Yeah. But like I say, you all know I'm pretty lax here. Of course, you guys behave. You know what my rules are, and you are adult enough to conform to the rules. You know what what I'll tolerate and won't tolerate. So thank you for that. But yeah, I hate that because there were people in the chat that came in saying that well, this is supposed to be a free speech stream, but then how come there's moderators?
Well, there's moderators for a reason.
That's right, because not everybody can be trusted to behave themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a comment on the stream that's saying this right here is proof that irate bear is a fucking easily triggered child. No, it's not. It's fucking proof that I get annoyed when I get constantly nibbed at. Fucking moron.
Faithless, yes. I'm even getting some buffering. I'm sitting here watching. I didn't pop out the chat. I'm actually watching the stream page, and it's buffering for me too. I don't know why. Nobody. I'm the only one awake in the house, so nobody's using up my bandwidth. So I don't know. Hopefully, it will straighten out soon. I don't know what to tell you guys. Got to be something on YouTube side, I would think.
Sadistic atheist, are you taking me out of context, my dude? I feel like, yeah. How dare you have emotions, Bear? Like, I get it, guys. Right, I get it. I really do. Right, I shouldn't act like that. Right, I shouldn't allow myself to get triggered and lose my shit with people. It's just that I've been doing this for like nearly 3 years now, and it's just nitpicking. You know, just you know, it's just like for the last 3 years, I try to. I find myself like having to explain myself more often than not. And I find that really annoying because it's just like they watched a video or they watched a live stream and they just didn't hear anything that I said.
Yeah.
You know,
I just really hate that. Well, if this was really a free speech thing, then you wouldn't have moderators argument. I hate that because you have the freedom to say whatever you want to, but I have the freedom to not listen to it. So, hey, if you don't like me, I guess I'm not for you.
And this is the thing as well. Like Jen's there saying, "Well, Bear, I know how much shit I give you, and you let me get away with it." Like I know you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like
and
I know when you do it, Bloodwing, and when Jen does it, and when Viper does it, and other people in the chat that I've seen on a regular basis over the last year or maybe even longer. I know that it's banter or whatever. But there are people out there who just kick off at me because they heard one thing and then they just interpreted it completely different, and I don't understand how they got there in the first place.
I figure those people today, people like that when that kind of thing happens, because it apparently, to me, it looked like it just came out of nowhere. It just, everything was going fine. Then all of a sudden you have all these accusations coming out of the chat. I think they just came looking for a fight, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like that. The other gentleman who was in the chat today, who seemed a bit odd. The one who thought that people were getting timed out and stuff when they were deleting their own messages, because they were like making spelling mistakes and stuff. He actually approached me on Twitter afterwards. I don't know what his deal is, but he basically came to apologize. I told him not to worry.
Yeah, stuff happens. MC, yes, absolutely. I do follow the NFL draft, and in fact, I was tweeting some of it out on my Twitter. So, which I know absolutely nobody that follows me cares about, but I care about. And it's my Twitter account. I'll tweet what I want to.
Exactly.
But yeah, I do follow it, and the only thing I can really speak about at the moment is my team, the Colts. I thought they had a very, very good draft this year, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been an interesting day already, a long one for me. In case you didn't catch it, people, I fell asleep at 9 o'clock last night. I knew it was a mistake when I did it, but I was so tired. Not to mention I was feeling a little bad. My tummy was upset. I had upset tummy. But so I went ahead and did it, and lo and behold, sure enough, I was wide awake at 4:30 this morning. Hey.
Yeah, you were up bright and breezy.
Yeah.
Hence why it was on Breakfast with Bear this morning.
Yeah, I'm usually still sawing logs when Bear does those. And I'm definitely still asleep when Monkey does his monkey in the morning.
Yeah, Monkey in the morning went till I think it was about 10:30 my time, I think. Obviously, I think I started mine later than I usually do.
Yeah.
Because we only went for an hour and a half, and we did go past midday, my time anyway. So
Monkey streams are only technically in the morning. I mean, because they're at like 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, technically they're in the morning, but good God, Monkey. At any rate, my body's being weird today, so I've already got to go
tinkle
to the bathroom. So hold down the fort while I'm away.
I will hold down the fort. I will hold down the fort. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're all well today. I hope you're having a nice weekend. Who do we have there in the chat? Viper, Jaeger Pony, Angel Muniz. What's going on, man? I'm always up at 4 a.m. in the morning here in America to see you, my brother Bear. Well, I don't think I was streaming at 4 a.m. your time. It probably would have been maybe 6 a.m. I think. Quinn the cultist, yeet. Not again, please, fucker. It's really annoying as well, man, because like when I tried to rejoin the hangout, like I should be able to switch accounts between R8 Bear and R8 Alex, and they wouldn't let me do it. I have no idea why it wouldn't let me do that. I guess it's Google Hangouts being Google Hangouts. So I had to switch to my original YouTube account to actually get in. And I'm really glad I changed the name of it. Otherwise, that could have been quite embarrassing. I miss a lot of Monkey streams because I'm not a morning person, and they are like 7 a.m. here. I think Monkey started at like 8 our time, and he went till about 10:30ish. Ran then. I can't really remember. Bear, have you played any Subnautica Below Zero? I've only played one round of it, and I mean like about an hour, and that is it so far. I just haven't really wanted to play any games recently. Like I kind of want to have a go at that Mordeaux game, the mass like 64 like PvP medieval game. I mean, I'm sure I'll be crap at it, but it looks like it'd be quite fun. I'd like to give it a go. I'm just probably not going to give it a go just yet. White tax. That's right, Zero. That's right. At least the guy this morning wasn't as bad as Yacht Rod. No, he weren't. No, he weren't. This is what annoys me, guys. Like I have a comment on the stream, which I'll have to obviously make it unlisted again. Well, I can remember what he says. He said, this is proof that R8 Bear is an easily triggered child. You were in the military, for God's sake. Act like it. Well, the thing is, mate, is when I was in the Navy, I was a naughty little bastard. There's a reason I got sent to military prison. And the thing is, like things like that don't happen that often. Like you don't get accused of shit that you haven't done. You know what I mean? And like taken out of context, you know? And like I feel like I've dealt with that kind of shit very well for like the last 3 years. I'm just not taking that shit anymore. You're damn right I'm gonna play Subverse. I want that game, but I won't be able to stream it. Will not be able to stream that game because that's a naughty, sexy game right there. But I certainly would like to play it. I really would. Hey, smash the like button, guys. You're damn right, Sarah. You're damn right.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 73 people watching, 29 likes, and 1 dislike. Duck dog. So come on, we can do a little better than that. I know you can.
Owen Harmon says, I remember the very first stream I watched with you, someone called you a N-word. You replied, that's not very nice. And I was impressed. Yeah, like, that's different. Like, I won't get annoyed at something like that. I just won't. Like, you call me names, you actually have a bit of banter or whatever. I won't get, like, genuinely aggravated. It's just when people, like... It's like calling my character into question, you know. It just winds me up. Shouldn't let it because it's like randos on the internet, you know. But whatever, I guess.
Hey, Duck Dog, what's going on, dude? There was one thing that, as I was perusing Twitter today, that kind of stuck out to me. And hey, Data, um, before we get into the news that I wanted to broach, I guess this is nothing new, but I guess it's bad if we call people that come into this country in any other way other than the legal matter. It is racist to call them illegal aliens.
I'm not entirely sure why you guys go for the alien thing rather than just immigrant, illegal immigrant.
Yeah, but even so, that is not xenophobic. Let's look at, okay, let's break it down. Illegal means against the law.
Yeah,
Plain and simple.
make some
Plain and simple.
criminals.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Alien, that is a foreign-born person who
Sorry,
has,
baby, back in a second.
okay, who is yet to become a citizen. Still pretty straightforward and simple. You know, and it sounds to me, so you put the two together, sounds to me like it's describing the situation quite well. And I don't see anything racist or xenophobic about the language. So yeah, how is it racist or xenophobic to call them what they are, and that is illegal alien? I wonder if they're not getting, if they haven't seen too many science fiction movies and are somehow in their mind getting that kind of alien mixed up with the other type of alien. And I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Maybe some of y'all can help me out. And Sarah says it's because they think illegal alien equals brown. Yeah, and yes, the biggest problem we have is at our southern border. There's no doubt about it, and there's no way to sugarcoat it, and not going to try. But I'm against illegal immigration, no matter what your color is and which border you came to cross. I mean, that's a pretty big border down there at Mexico, but look at the one to our north that we have with Canada. That's a way bigger border. So even if they cross that border illegally, I'm against it. I don't.
You got to watch out for them goddamn snowbacks.
Well, I do worry about it sometimes because there's so much focus on the southern border, and I wonder if we might not get lax at the northern border. You know, because we have fairly good relations with Canada. You know, and what's to stop some jihadi idiot, you know, finding their way into Canada and then from there finding their way down to the United States. Yeah, Jen says, and Jen is Canadian. If I cross the border without a passport, then I too am an illegal alien. Also, I'm blindingly white. Exactly. So yeah, I don't understand how that is xenophobic. Of course, the ones that I saw saying that, I first saw it with Monkey was reacting to a tweet of that hog kid. You know, the one I'm talking about.
David Hogg.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then someone we both know, and I won't mention their name, but you'll know when I give you the initials BB, popped in and called Monkey a moron and said, if you can't see how this is xenophobic. And I'm like,
who is that? Sorry?
Have the initials BB.
Oh, okay.
You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I try to give him the benefit of the doubt because we have a lot of history. For old time's sake, we stream together and so forth and all that. But I'm starting to lose my patience. I really am.
I don't follow him. He follows me. And he never seems to get annoyed with the things that I say, which I'm surprised about, really.
Yeah, and he generally leaves me alone too. But he's sure got a hard on for Monkey. But
of course he has. I'm going to go look at his account real quick, I think. There he is. Yeah, he still follows me. I'm surprised. Yeah. Oh, God, his banner is disgusting.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is wrong with... Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, you guys probably aren't going to figure it out. I see Jack Gunsky and some I'm trying to figure out. This is not a well-known person. It's just someone basically from my early days in YouTube.
The only the only reason why they get like annoyed about it and want to kind of label it as xenophobic or racist or whatever is because the majority of those illegal aliens or illegal immigrants, I guess it doesn't matter on the terminology, most of them are brown. Most of them are Mexicans.
Yeah.
At least with America anyway. With the UK, it's very much a mixy blob.
Yeah, that's where our biggest problem lies. Are those the only illegal aliens? Of course not. But the majority of our problem lies with the southern border.
Owen, are you talking about Godfrey? He's referring to a Twitter spat today. Yeah, I guess that must have been the dregs from last week. People try to say that I'm covering for the alt-right.
Yeah,
it was one of them. He's like an atheist, like old atheist skeptic type. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. Just go away, man. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave Bear
alone.
Go away, man.
But yeah, I don't get it. I mean, if you break it down and you look at the term illegal alien, there is no way that's xenophobic or racist. There's nothing about any ideology in that term if you break it down to what it means. Technically, it means exactly what it's meant to mean. It means somebody in this country illegally. A citizen of another country here illegally.
That is strange. I can't get into my... I've been logged out by YouTube. I can't get back in. Oh, no, I can. It's fine. It's fine. Sorry.
Perfectly faded delusions. Well, I don't like going out and I'm scared of all people, so I must be xenophobic then. I'm with you. I mean, I'm not scared of people, but I do have panic attacks if I get among too many people. I just don't like people. I'm not afraid of them. I just don't like them.
That's fair.
It's not BV. It's BB, Sarah. Beta. Literally.
Oh, did somebody just give me a donation? I've received an email. So I'm still trying to figure out how to work this Chinese communist phone. Do it. But I don't understand what my phone's doing. Oh my God.
So if it's a Chinese phone, if you text too much, does it just suddenly say, "You go home now, you text too much"?
Well, all of my phone contacts were actually saved to the iPhone, not the SIM, which is a pain in the backside, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Jaeger Pony through $30. Thank you so much, man. It's incredibly generous of you, sir. Blood got some. Might as well donate to the geriatric and minorities today. Well, I appreciate that. The League of Geriatric and Minority
exactly
organization appreciates your patronage. Thank you a lot, though. That's
no faithless. BB is not someone who must not be named. It's just it is a person from my past, and we used to be friends. And for the sake of old times, I try to cut him a little break. So yeah, that's the only reason.
I'm not sure he deserves a break at this point. I mean,
probably not. But I am a patient kind of guy.
That is true. That is true. Even I've elected not to step on him. Purely off that basis.
I'm not really sure that he's all there. Honestly, I've seen some of his tweets in the last 6 months to a year, and I'm not sure he's all there. I think maybe he's had a nervous breakdown or something. Mama Minnie, Duck Dog, that is truth. She is my real life daughter after all. So yeah, pity her.
Well, I don't get it, Bloodwing.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't. I don't get the whole thing. Of course, that same crowd they're apt to scream that kind of thing also scream foul every time the subject of voting laws, voter ID laws come up, because that's racist. Because heaven forbid that a black or brown person could get an identification.
If anything, that's them suggesting that people of color, just say minorities, can't get ID, and that's actually an argument that's starting to come up here in the UK now, Bloodwing.
Oh.
And I'll give you two guesses as to who is instigating that argument, and that goes towards the chat as well.
Well, that would have to be my one guess. Would be either Corbin or the girl you were talking about today.
No, actually, no.
I missed both times. Oh,
yeah. Although I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them at all. I wonder if the chat would get it. Not Ramona's. It's one politician. It's one politician saying it. At least as far as I know. I just wonder if the chat would get it. Yeah, voter IDs are racist because black people don't got no legs. Oh, it doesn't look like anyone. Yeah, there we go. Ryan Rawlings gets it. It's David Lammy. Ding, 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 ding. There you go. Of course it is. Of course it's David bloody Lammy.
That is one of the lamest, most idiotic, most ignorant points of view I have ever heard. And it's one of the first ones I ever made a video on, very early on, that voter ID laws are not racist, you morons.
Look, I get that the democratic process is not, as accessible to everybody if you want to be super pedantic about it. And this is one thing that annoyed me about Destiny. Destiny tried to bring that up as an argument once. I was listening to a debate. Can't remember who it was against. It's like, do you think that everybody has the same access to, vote, being involved in the democratic process? And he was being purposely pedantic about it. It's like, well, I mean, if you base it on the fact that, John over here, who lives 20 miles away from the polling station and hasn't got a car, versus Dave, who has a car and only lives 2 minutes away from the polling station, then yeah, I get that, right? But that's really pedantic. But when it comes to the ID stuff, that's how we ensure that we don't have voter fraud.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the ways that we achieve that, anyway. And are you suggesting that minorities can't afford these things, that they can't get jobs and do well in life?
Yeah. Here's the thing: in the states, and those states that have, and it is up to the states to make those kind of laws. That's not federal. In the states, all you need is a picture ID, and a driver's license is a picture ID. Now,
yeah, I mean, most people
here in the United States, we drive cars.
Yeah.
Because the country's so freaking huge. It's just, we drive cars. And even if you don't drive a car and you happen to live in a city that has really good public transportation, which I don't, Indianapolis is infamous for how poor its public transportation is. It's terrible. That same license branch that you go to get a driver's license at will give you a valid, official picture identification.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess you could make the argument, well, they can't afford it because they're poor. Now, look, I'm a guy that has to depend on you guys to help me pay my cable bill. And I can afford a driver's license every 6 years.
Why? That's why I don't get, Bloodwing. Like, how did you get this far through life without any form of ID?
Exactly.
What? You need ID for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like
getting a job.
Yeah, getting a job. Yeah.
If you are poor, and there's nothing wrong if it's valid, if it's for real, asking for help, such as food stamps and assistance, you got to have ID for that.
Yeah. I'm fairly sure you can't get on welfare in the UK unless you have a fucking ID.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't see at what point that is racist and against black people. And the other point about, trying to get to a polling station here in the States, when we have an election, whether it's local or federal or whatever, almost every school becomes a polling station.
Yeah.
So there's one in your neighborhood, no matter where you live.
I imagine they would be everywhere. I mean, we can make arguments about accessibility and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I imagine people who live out in the countryside certainly have a harder time of, get especially if they don't drive. Can I have a quick rant about immigration, please? What, you want to have a quick rant? Or you want me to rant about it? You can't do a lot of things without ID. Well, at least
it says I'm black. I have never got denied of my ID because I'm black, not even purchased. Yeah.
Well, there are lots of different forms of ID.
Yeah.
Especially in the UK. We have there's this special you can get these ID cards, and they're just like they're not associated with anything. They're just ID cards. They just say your name, they have your age, and they have like a little bit of information on them, and that's it. Like, they're not associated with driving. They're not associated with a passport or anything like that. And I'm fairly sure those are quite cheap.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they cost here in my state, but they're not too much. I mean, my driver's license, if I recall, now after a certain age, you only have to get your driver's license every 6 years, and then as you get older, it goes back the other way, and you have to get it every 2 years. But I'm at that stage where I only have to get it every 6, and it cost me $20. But that's for 6 years. It's good for 6 years.
There you go. Boom.
In fact, I can't imagine that a non-driver's license ID would cost any more than that.
I just want to see how much the provisional license is in the UK, because I imagine it's changed since I first started learning to drive. I don't remember it being a lot. And I also got my, like, I was very late to learning how to drive and stuff. I was in the Navy. I had no reason to drive. I think I was 25 or 4 when I got my license.
Lord, I was 16.
Yeah, I just wasn't asked, mate. I just didn't need it. Because when I was 16, I was still living in London, and when I was 17, I joined the Navy. So there was no need for me to I could have, but I just wasn't asked.
I was 16 and 6 months, and I could have had it at 16, except I got in trouble. I flunked my what's that science class where you dissect animals? Biology. I flunked biology, which is another story in and of itself. And my dad punished me by saying, "Well, can't get your driver's license yet."
A social security number equivalent? Would that be our what's it called now? I can't remember what it's called. A national insurance. Would that be the same thing?
It might. I'll explain Social Security here in just a second. Somebody asked, and I've already forgot who it was, but somebody asked earlier how old I was, if they didn't mind. I said, no, I don't mind. I'm 59. I was born in the year of our Lord, 1960. Under the Eisenhower administration, by the way. But here, our Social Security number, everyone has to get one. Everyone has to get one. You generally nowadays get one at birth. I did not get mine until I was like 13 or 14. It was done a little differently in those days. But it's a way that the government knows who you are. Think of it as a file number for, as you live your life, you gather a lot. There's a lot of information. that comes up on you. The older you get, the more information there is, and that is
Social Security is something you pay into, isn't it?
The Social Security itself is something that's it's not much. It's just a little bit every paycheck, just a few dollars every paycheck that they take out of every week, along with your taxes, and it's put in this Social Security
It sounds
fund.
exactly the same, actually.
And the government, adds to that, and it's there. Initially, it was there to help people with their income after retirement age, and of course it's become more than that, a little more than that now, because it also takes in disability claims and stuff like that. Thank you, Cryptic. Pull out your Stone tablet ID card, man. You laugh, but my very first driver's license did not have a picture on it. It was just a piece of paper with my name and other stuff on it. Did not have a picture. Yeah, they used to do that back in those days.
When you get when you first pass your driving test here in the UK, obviously that you don't get your ID straight away, so they give you a piece of paper to just to have until you can actually get your hard copy license.
Yeah.
It's national insurance, the system of compulsory payments by employees and employers to provide state assistance for people who are sick, unemployed, or retired.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Yeah,
it basically sounds like the same kind of thing, but it's also used. That's the first thing they ask you when you contact the government for anything. What's your Social Security number? And of course you rack that off, and you have the same number for your entire life.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, it sounds similar, that and again, that's one of the reasons I know it's a little bit of a pain in the butt for you guys that don't use my Streamlabs, because I guess it won't let you use debit cards. At least that's what you tell me. But in order for me to unlock that, they want at least part of my Social Security number. And no, if you're not the government and if you're not a job that I'm applying for, you don't need that. No.
I can't remember what the thing it asked me for was, if you remember. But when I tried to put it in and activate the credit card option, I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to unlock that for people to make it easier for them to donate and so forth. But no, I'm not even the last four. They don't need that. No. Because, if heaven forbid some hacker group come along and hack Streamlabs, I don't want them having my Social Security number, because it is so wrapped up in every aspect of our life that once you have a person's Social Security number, you have their identity. That's it. Because with that, you can get a passport, you can get benefits, you can get credit cards, you can get yada 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 once you have that. So no, don't need that. If they change that aspect and remove that requirement, then I'll unlock it.
Provisional driving license in the UK, the bit of ID that you need to get before you start your driving lessons, is £34. Just in case anyone was wondering.
Mr. Dax's blood Social Security number is 7. No, but I did used to work for a job where my employee number was 2.
There you go. Second employee.
Yep. Thank you, Citron, for the donation. SS is the biggest federally approved scam. Yes and no. I have my issues with Social Security, but I'm also really glad it's there. And for those of you that don't know, I'm in the midst of trying to get my approved for disability to help an old man out. Because, I've got another 6 years yet before I get full retirement. You can get Social Security before 65, but it's at a reduced rate.
Owen Harmon in the chat there. I don't know if he's still there or not. Me and him had a not so much as a debate, but much more of a conversation surrounding the concept of like any kind of like white welfare, even for like disabled people. And he explained to me, like in the UK, there used to be like loads of like pre-NHS days. There used to be a great deal of charity and religious charity, and a lot more community. And him giving me that history lesson, it made me feel really sad, you know, because we don't get that kind of thing anymore. We don't get that kind of that level of community anymore. Like it kind of ties into this this thing where, you know, I'm trying to set up these community groups, and like the missus is trying to do like a community group thing for the people that she looks after, and like there's people just aren't interested in that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and I find that's sad. That's very sad. Yeah.
Bee junkie kids can drive farm vehicles at a much younger age with no license, and that's true as long as they do not go out on public roads. That's actually how I learned to drive at like 12 years old. Was going down to Kentucky, and my cousin, who's 2 years older than me, had an old Thunderbird that we used to drive across the fields and chase the cows.
Moo.
Yeah, yeah.
Moo.
Oh, good times. Good times. But yeah,
I don't think it's racist to have ID. I just don't.
Citron, I hope you do get those benefits. I hope. Of course, we hear over and over, "Oh, Social Security is going to end at this point," and then that doesn't happen, and then it's going to end at this point, and then it doesn't. And I truly, my personal belief, now I could be wrong, the government, no matter whether it's Republican or Democrat in charge, is going to do whatever they can to make Social Security keeps going, because it's too ingrained into our system now.
Yeah.
You know, I hope you do get your benefits. If you paid into it all your life, just as I have, I hope you get it. And that's when I first went to apply for my disability. Tell you this little story, and then we'll get to some news here probably. But when I first went to apply, I had to go down to the local SSA office, Social Security Administration, which is a federal office, and I had to go down and talk to the lady there, and she was asking questions, and she says, "When was your last job?" And I said, "Well, about 4 years ago." And she said, "Well, why are you waiting until just now?" Because I'm a proud man, and I thought I would find a job between now and then that would work with me on my disabilities. But I was wrong. You know, a mix between that and my age, people don't want me. You know, and so I finally gave in to that. And, you know, and two, I was raised not to take, you don't take charity. You know, it was very much ingrained. I was raised by, you know, people that come out of the Depression, and you don't take charity. It was a big thing. And the lady told me something that meant a lot to me. She said, "Well, but why? It's yours. You paid into it."
Well, yeah.
I'm like, "Well, you're right." So give it to me. Which hopefully on that, I should be nearing the end of that journey. When I went to go see the doctor and the psychiatrist a couple of weeks ago, they told me then it could be 2 to 3 more weeks. I got a letter to call them the other day, which I did. They had some more questions for me. So I'm guessing in 2 to 4 weeks should be over. Been a long journey, or it feels long.
Yeah. What else has happened on Twitter today then? Like, other than that douche canoe trying to, you know, have a crack at having a crack at me, and what's his face trying to have a go, you know, about racism over bloody voting. That's just sad.
I'm trying to think. I really didn't spend a whole lot of time on Twitter today. Some, I pretty much just caught. Well, I got on early before I got on your stream today is when I looked at it and just kind of caught up to what happened overnight. And trying to think. Owen Harmon. Okay, so should first generation immigrants be barred from Social Security? I think so. No, I don't. If they pay into it, then they should have access to it as well. Now, should the pot or the well or the amount that they have access to be the same as mine if they didn't pay into it as long as I did? No, I think that's only fair. But yeah, as long as they're legal. Are we talking legal immigrants? Because if we're not, I don't think they should have any illegal immigrants should have access to my Social Security. Get your dirty, grubby little hands out of it.
That's racist, sir.
Yes, it is. Twitter. Oh my gosh. Just I think it's just been the typical conservatives are so easily triggered crap going on by certain ones. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I can't think of anything.
No, I think that's pretty much been it for today, to be honest. Other than that Godfrey guy and trying to start up the massive fight that I had last week. It's pretty much it. Obviously,
well, other than there has been quite a bit of discussion over all the I'm making air quotes that you can't see here, alt-right figures that have been banned off of Facebook, which we talked about last stream a little bit. I did see somebody questioning why we wanted to defend PewDiePie so much, when all he is just a game streamer and all that and blah, 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 blah. And what's he ever done? Look, it's not so much that it's PewDiePie, it's what it stands for. We're sick of the word Nazi being overused. Tired of it. I tell you, I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Because as far as PewDiePie goes, I've made it very clear I'm not really a fan. I could care less. But it's what the argument stands for.
What's your opinion on the Facebook stuff going on right now? Because I'm seeing lots of different arguments.
There's some of them that were banned that personally inside I think, well, good. Like Farrakhan. I mean, because he's a piece of garbage. I mean, there's just no way denying it. He's been extremely openly racist for decades. It's not just recent. He's got a long history of being extremely racist and in particular anti-Semitic. So inside me, there's a part of me that says, oh, good. But then the free speech part of me and the free thinker part of me thinks, man, that's dangerous crap. Where do you draw the line? Who decides what's acceptable and not acceptable? As far as that goes. So I find it concerning for that reason that, that they're booting people because of their philosophies, whether or not their philosophy offends me or not. I mean, it's like, you remember, it's probably been, well over a year ago when Christy Winters got kicked off Twitter.
Yeah, well, she's back on it. I know she's on it.
Right. Yeah, she is. But you remember when. And a lot of us come out and said, hey, I don't like what you say, but I respect your right to say it. This isn't right.
Yeah. I didn't, because I'm blocked and have been for a very long time, and I didn't know what was going on.
Amazingly, I'm not blocked by Christy or Michael Rowlands, who I know for a fact hates my guts.
I couldn't get that guy to bloody block me.
Yeah, that that concerns me. Whether or not I'm offended by that person's ideology shouldn't enter into it. You know, I keep that part of it to me. But when we start censoring people off our platforms because their ideology might be offensive, where does it stop? You know, who decides that?
Well, I mean, this is what gets me. You know, I mean, they looked at people like, you know, Alex Jones, Infowars, Paul Joseph Watson, so on and so forth. You know, everybody else, and they just are like, right, we're getting rid of these people because, you know, they're advocating for bad ideas, bad, you know, damaging ideas. So, okay, well, are you going to ban Antifa then? No? Oh, okay.
Yeah, if they're going to do it, it needs to be done equally across the board.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen lots of different arguments, and I'm not so sure of it. Somebody said that Paul Joseph Watson was like an anti-vaxxer, and even then, I don't know where I stand on that.
Now,
Whether someone should be banned for perpetuating those ideas, because technically speaking, that is a very damaging idea.
yeah. Now, as far as do they have a right to, whether I like it or not, yeah, they're a private company. They can do whatever they want. They can shut the whole thing down and kick us all off if they want to.
They could, but you know, a lot of the conversation does happen on these platforms now. You know, it's very much the public square.
Now, is that right? Is the question. It's really not a. Oh, how can I say this and make myself clear? It's not a free speech issue because the Constitution, the First Amendment, has no applicability to these private companies. They have the right to do it. Do I agree with it? Do I think it's a chump move? Yes, I think it's a chump move, and they shouldn't. But
yeah, considering Donald Trump decided to weigh in on it as well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's gonna kick off.
Well, you knew he would. He's not going to pass an opportunity like that.
Yeah, I know, right? Does the does the Constitution, the First Amendment, does it cover people who shill like anti-vax ideology?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Because I tend to base like my stance on free speech off of your Constitution. So, but I don't know whether like the idea of anti-vax is protected like by the First Amendment.
It does, but there is an argument that could be made that they are promoting something. They are promoting violence in the way that children and other people, at-risk people, could be killed from this belief. You know, but yes, it does. It is protected, regardless of that argument that could be made.
Well, in that case, then even like I've seen people calling Paul Joseph Watson, Infowars as a whole like anti-vax. I haven't personally seen it from Paul Joseph Watson, nor have I seen it from Alex Jones. But then again, you know, I've seen way more I've seen way more Paul Joseph Watson on his own as a singular creator rather than as a whole with Infowars speak. So. Well, no. In that case, then no, I don't feel that they're justified. Then,
yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know if Paul Joseph Watson's anti-vax or not. I don't follow him, folks. I don't follow Alex Jones. I honestly, from what little I've seen them, I think they're a little nutsy cuckoo. But that's my opinion.
I mean, I know Paul Joseph Watson is antagonistic, but I don't think I've ever heard him suggest, you know, anti-vaccination ideology.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he does or not.
Well, either way, I guess it doesn't matter because it's covered, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely it would. And when I say that there's an argument that could be made, I was just playing devil's advocate. I was just looking at what argument might be able to be made against it being free speech.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I would agree with that tack. Random American, I'm anti-Vox myself.
No, nobody can blame you for that, mate.
No.
And no one can give you any jip over that.
No, sir.
Well, in that case, then, like this is why I ask questions, you know, to
Sure.
solidify my my stance, you know. Oh, fuck you, functional. Saying he's anti-bear. Leave the bears alone, man. That's also hate speech against bears. We're a protected group. But no, that's why I ask questions, to help me solidify my stance. If I don't fully understand something, I ask questions, and in that case, Facebook, go fuck themselves. This is where the conversation happens. Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah,
YouTube. It's the public square. And sorry, that private company argument, just that it's not going to cut it anymore. It really isn't.
Yeah, well, like I said, technically they have that right,
Well,
but morally, is it right to do that? No, that's pretty questionable. If you're running, and this is my opinion, if you're running an online forum, your politics, your personal politics, shouldn't enter into it. You should be a disinterested party, if you will. Be a neutral party to whatever is said on your forum. And
at least from a business perspective, anyway.
Yeah, and not involve yourself in taking one side or another. Now, of course, we know that's not the case. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook all have a decidedly left lean. Sad but true.
I'm just trying to find, because I saw something that Paul Joseph Watson said to Trump yesterday, and he said something about a piece of legislation I've never heard of, and I'm just trying to find it. He was asking the president to look at something, but I can't remember what it was. It was in direct reply to Trump. I'll just continue going. You just speak to the audience, Budwing. It might take me a little bit.
No, they do not. No, they don't. What? You got to forget I'm old. I mean, you can't forget, and I've already forgot what I said.
Well, Donald Trump tweeted this out. I'm continuing to monitor the censorship of American citizens on social media platforms. This is the United States of America, and we have what's known as freedom of speech. We are monitoring and watching closely. Okay. There it is. Paul Joseph Watson replied to the president saying, thank you, Mr. President. Now, hopefully, Facebook will be stripped of its immunity under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, because it is clearly acting as a partisan publisher and not a platform. This is election meddling. And there's certainly an argument for that as well, because like all the arguments for all the arguments and a hell of a lot of political promotion, whether it's America or whether it's the UK or whatever, happens on Facebook and Twitter and so on. And by them booting people off, who are, you know, big conservative commentators and journalists and voices in general, I would say that probably is election meddling.
Yeah,
or at least trying to control the conversation, which, you know, is not morally right.
Yeah, I would have no problem. I know that we have a law here that during elections and so forth, if a television or cable channel or what have you gives this amount of time to this candidate to promote their campaign, they have to provide equal time to the other candidate. So I would have no problem with that being applied to Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. You know, absolutely no problem with that being applied.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to have a quick read of section 230. I know Shelley explained it to me, but I want to have a more in-depth read. In fact, I'll read it after the stream. Did you want to have some news, or did you want to just
Oh
carry
no,
on
we
as we
can
are?
we can do some news. We can do some news.
Hmm.
Let's see. Biden thinks Trump is the problem. Not all Republicans. Other Democrats disagree.
Here we go.
And we're just waiting on that to open up here. And all right, Dubuque, Iowa, as Joseph R. Biden Jr. made his way, otherwise known as Creepy Joe, made his way across Iowa on his first trip as a 2020 presidential candidate. The former vice president repeatedly returned to one term, aberration, when he referred to the Trump's presidency. To the Trump presidency. There was no S there. Don't know why I put it in. Limit it to 4 years, Mr. Biden pleaded with a ballroom crowd of 600 in the eastern Iowa city of Dubuque. History will treat this administration's time as an aberration. This is not the Republican Party, he added, citing his relationships with my Republican friends in the House and Senate. There is no disagreement among Democrats about the urgency of defeating Mr. Trump. But Mr. Biden's singular focus on the president as the source of the nation's ills, while extending an olive branch to Republicans, has exposed a significant fault line in the Democratic primary. And let me just stop there for a minute. That in at least a little bit, I agree with Biden here. There ought to be more cooperation between the two parties. You know, quit vilifying the other. Democrats like Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren see the president as a symptom of something deeper, both in a Republican Party overtaken by Trumpism and a nation cleaved by partisanship. Simply ousting Mr. Trump, they tell voters, is not enough. Of course, they want to get rid of all of us. It's a debate that goes beyond the policy differences, separating a moderate like Mr. Biden from an insurgent like Mr. Sanders, elevating questions about whether the old rules of inside the Beltway governance still apply. And it is thrown into stark relief one of the fundamental questions facing the Democratic electorate. Do Democrats want a bipartisan dealmaker promising a return to normalcy, or a partisan warrior offering more transformative change? Real quick, I heard the alert, so I know I got something. Thank you, the gayest person on YouTube, for the donations. Happy Saturday, guys. Hope you enjoy your weekends. I will. And thank you very much.
Happy Saturday to you, sir.
Since winning the Republican nomination almost 3 years ago, Mr. Trump has tightened his grip on the party, installing loyalists in key positions and commanding fealty from Republican candidates, as some of his loudest Republican critics retired rather than face electoral defeat. And you guys say that like that's something that no one else does. I mean, every president ever, that has come into office has surrounded themselves with people that they know is going to do the job that they tasked them with. Oh, Lord. Good grief. Most important, many Republicans in Congress have voted almost in lockstep with the president, even as he has cast aside longstanding party orthodoxies such as free trade and sought to exert his will on traditionally nonpartisan institutions like the Federal Reserve and the Justice Department. Just this past week, Democrats raised alarm about Attorney General William P. Barr's unyielding defense of the president in a Senate hearing on the Mueller report, where Mr. Barr adopted some of Mr. Trump's talking points on the Russia investigation. Make no mistake about it, this struggle is not just about defeating Donald Trump, Mr. Sanders declared in his own kickoff speech in Brooklyn. This struggle is about taking on the incredibly powerful institutions that control the economic and political life of this country. You mean kind of like the Democratic Party? After more than 40 years in Washington, Mr. Biden has forged more and deeper relationships with Republicans than any other Democrat running. In the Obama White House, he was known as the McConnell Whisperer for his skills in striking agreements with the often recalcitrant Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell. Mr. Biden spent decades cutting deals in the Senate. Mr. Biden's opening pitch is an electable pragmatist who can reach across the aisle, has resonated with many Iowa Democrats who are desperate to end Mr. Trump's presidency. I just want to see decency again, sighed Jimmy Stumpf. What? Is his name really? Yeah, Stumpf.
Stumpf.
Stumpff. Stumpf.
Stumpf. you have to spit when you say it.
Yeah. Sighed Jimmy Stumpf, who wore a "Make Lies Wrong Again" shirt. Oh, see what you did there? Yeah, you guys have no sense of humor. The left can't meme, people. Shirt to Mr. Biden's event in Cedar Rapids this past week. I feel Biden's our best chance to beat Trump by far. John Anzalone, a Democratic pollster who has previously advised Mr. Biden, said it should be no surprise that bipartisan bills sell even in a party primary. Guess what? He said. Democratic primary voters agree with the fact that a Democratic president should work with Republicans to get things done. That's true regardless of who's in power, whether it's Republicans or Democrats. This is me speaking. They should be able to work together. You know, we here in the States have a two-party system, but when it is working at its best is when we can reach across the aisles and come to mutual agreement. I mean, it's just the way it is. There is this narrative about Democratic primary voters that they're all about anger and the fight or principles, Mr. Anzalone added, but real voters know one thing. If anything is going to get done to help them, it'll have to be done across party lines. And he's got a really valid point there, people, because if by some way the Democrats win the next election, and it's by one of these candidates that are, like Bernie or one of those guys that are really extreme, their whole presidency is going to be lame duck unless by some miracle they can fill the House and the Senate with nothing but Democratic people. Because any Republicans will dig their heels in like a mule and say, People have this misbegotten idea that the president can do and pass anything that he or she wants to, and that is just not true.
King Trump.
Yeah. We don't have a king or an emperor, people. We have a president, and there are limits to his powers. On the trail, Mr. Biden has made no secret that he plans to narrow the focus to a Trump-Biden matchup. From his campaign's opening video montage, he has purposely targeted Mr. Trump while ignoring the wider Republican Party and his own Democratic rivals, a strategy that allows him to protect himself as the frontrunner and direct attention to his perceived electability. Oh boy, this is a really long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The gist of it is that Biden believes that it's not a Democrat Republican thing. It's not a DNC GOP thing. It's just a Trump thing. But the other Democrats, yeah, they want us all gone. They won't be happy until there's only one party. The DNC.
Yeah, they seem awfully aggressive about it, don't they?
Sometimes.
Awfully aggressive about it.
So.
I managed to grab a couple of articles off of Reddit.
Well, why don't you read one of them while I try to see if I can't find something a little more happy.
Roger that. So over to Sacramento Bee. Dark web posts reveal California man's chemical weapon plot to murder wife, FBI says. Holy
All
shit.
right.
A California grand jury has indicted an Oakland man on felony charges after he admitted to trying to buy a chemical weapon on the dark web to murder his wife. Did you need to go that far? Have you not got any cutlery?
There are easier ways to do away with your wife, folks. Not that I would really know, but there are easier ways to do it than purchasing a WMD.
Well, it's quite cheap. Sanford Faison, 41, used Bitcoin to pay $95 for the unnamed toxic chemical, $75 for the deadly substance, $20 for shipping. There you go, guys. If you if you want to cause a national incident, $75, $20 shipping. An FBI agent wrote in a criminal complaint against Faison. The person offering the chemical was an undercover agent. Oh, okay. I aim to ensure my wife's death within the 18 months. Ideally, long after our divorce is finalized, about 6 to 8 months from now. Faison wrote at a dark web posting December 3rd, according to the complaint. This is the only way I can begin a new life with full custody of my child. So now there's a problem right there that's immediately being highlighted there. The fact that this guy just knows that he's going to get screwed over in family court. So he resorts to this kind of,
And he may very well be right, but there's still no excuse.
I know it's not an excuse, but it does highlight an issue. We currently live together, and I expect to have brackets easy access to her environment and food for another 2 months at least. Faison was arrested in January following an FBI anti-terrorism squad investigation. Bay Area News Group reports the April 2nd indictment in federal court in Oakland charges Faison with 1 count of attempting to acquire a chemical weapon. That's kind of mad when you think about it. Like,
No kidding.
A chemical weapon? You could have probably made one, mate. The FBI didn't name the toxic chemical, but described it as a colorless, volatile, flammable, and highly toxic liquid that's easily absorbed through the skin and may produce life-threatening systemic effects with only a single drop.
Oh, wow.
The FBI said there aren't many legitimate uses for the toxic substance other than research, adding that it can be used to fatally poison humans. Faison wasn't just using the dark web to buy the chemical weapon. He was also looking for advice on how best to use it. Right, I'm trying to buy this chemical weapon.
Can you tell me how to use it?
Does anyone have an experience?
Is there an owner's manual?
Yeah, is there a manual? Do you know if this stuff has any ill interactions with water? Faison asked the undercover FBI agent offering to sell the substance. The complaint said, also, I can't find any info on it, on its freezing point. Any insight welcome and aiming to purchase before Xmas.
Free shipping if ordered before Christmas.
This is the way he said it. Yeah. Does it? What's its freezing temperature? And can I get it before Christmas? Because Christmas rush.
Seriously though, the one thing that's coming to my mind here, he's already mentioned that he wanted access to his kids, so he's got kids. I mean, we can establish that fact.
Mm-hmm.
And if this chemical can be absorbed through the skin, that I would think as a parent, that would be a little bit too dangerous to have in your home in any way.
He's taking a bit of a risk with that, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he did say that he was going to off her after the divorce. So I don't know, dude. I don't know. There is more to it.
I get the sentiment. Honestly, I do. I've been married for 36 years, so I get the sentiment sometimes. But murder, folks, is never ever the answer. Not to mention the fact that it's pretty hard in this day and age with all the technology that we have to get away with.
It's
Let me clue you in when one spouse of the other dies, the first person they look at is the other spouse.
They do, yeah. They do that here as well, man. Even if you were to off yourself, there would still be an investigation into your partner, and of course, making it far worse than it already is. Murder is bad. Nod's head. Why purchase a chemical weapon when there's a perfectly good set of stairs right there?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Did you want to swap over?
Sure. I'll read this. And then, like I said, my body is being really weird. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom after this story.
My shock.
I don't know what it is. It's like, I'm at an age now that my bladder's the size of a walnut, but I think today it's shrunk down to a peanut. I swear. Soldier survives 70-foot fall into active Hawaii's Kilauea volcano.
Again, sorry.
Soldier survives 70-foot fall into active Hawaii's Kilauea volcano.
What's he made of?
I don't know. A 32-year-old soldier attempting to get a better view inside of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano fell in Wednesday night, authorities said. He was seriously injured but survived after falling 70 feet into the volcano's crater. Folks, there's a lot of reasons, a lot of good reasons I could come up with where you don't really want to get up and get a better look inside that volcano. Top on that list probably is you will die.
Yeah, military fiber. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, you all know I have the utmost respect for our military, but this fella didn't exhibit the best in judgment here.
Well, I mean, he's obviously hard enough to survive it. I mean,
I guess.
Well, what's that song? If you're going to be stupid, you got to be tough.
I guess so. According to Parks spokesman Ben Hayes, the man climbed over the permanent metal railing. Oh, good God. At the steaming bluff overlook to look into the crater when the ground collapsed beneath him. That railing's there for a reason.
So he climbed over the railing, took a few steps forward, and then the ground just went underneath him.
Yep.
Yeah, it probably was Fijian because Fijian boys are big.
The soldier, whose name has not been released, is from Schofield Barracks on Oahu. I wonder if my son-in-law knows this guy because that's where he was stationed. But was taking part in training exercises on Hawaii's Big Island when the accident occurred. Hayes said that another visitor witnessed the fall around 6:30 p.m. and alerted authorities. The man wasn't pulled out from the caldera until around 9:40 p.m. Good Lord, over 3 hours he spent inside that volcano. Instead of falling 300 feet, he landed on a narrow ledge about 70 feet down.
What's he made out of?
I don't know. Asbestos, apparently.
Yeah.
Rescuers from the park and county were able to rappel down to the ledge, secure the man onto a stretcher, and bring him back up, where he was airlifted to the Hilo Medical Center. Visitors should never cross safety barriers. Let me say that again in case you guys are considering crossing. Visitors should never cross safety barriers. They're there for a reason, folks. Not just to screw up your perfect picture. Especially around dangerous and destabilized cliff edges, Chief Ranger John Broward said in a statement. Crossing safety barriers and entering closed areas can result in serious injuries and death. The man was critically injured.
Not for that guy.
Yeah. The man was critically injured, but was upgraded to stable condition Thursday. He obviously is doing remarkably well for his fall. You think? Matthias Cush, Hawaii County Fire Department Battalion Chief said, only time will tell what injuries he has. Kilauea is not currently erupting. Well, thank goodness for that. But it is an active volcano that destroyed more than 700 homes on the Big Island when it erupted 1 year ago.
I'm actually quite confident that even if it did erupt, he would survive.
Impacting some 3,000 people. The last fall fatality in the park occurred on October 29th, 2017. So this is a volcano that erupted as little as 1 year ago, destroyed more than 700 homes, and he wanted a closer look. No, thank you.
No, curiosity did not kill the cat in this case.
No, but can you imagine? Even though he didn't fall as far as he could, he fell 70 feet. That extra 70 feet had to make a huge difference on the heat he was feeling.
He's just made of heat resistant materials.
Good night, Irene. You know, like I said, I really respect our military. I really do. My hat is always off to you all. And I think our country does a great disservice in the way that they treat you after your service. Absolutely, and will maintain that to the day I die. However, this individual did not exhibit the best in judgment.
Wow.
Thank goodness thank goodness he did survive. You know.
Yeah, thank goodness, yeah. Silly sausage that he
but
is.
you can either you can either go ahead with whatever you're wanting to read or wait until I get back. I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Really. Okay, that's fair enough. I'll just talk to the chat like I normally do. What's going on, chat? What's happening? What's all your plans for the weekend? Still nice and early ish in America. Anyone going on for a night out, for a drink, anything like that? People don't join the military because they're brilliant. Well, I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that. I knew some very, very intelligent guys in the Navy that were, lowest level. I mean, don't get me wrong. One of the smartest guys I knew just had no common sense whatsoever. Absolutely no common sense. But in terms of, being intellectual and, on paper, the guy was really intelligent. Was the soldier able to destroy the ring? I hope so. I never go out unless I'm dragged out, so I'm staying in bed. That's fair. Did you guys see the shit show between Patriot Prayer and Antifa in Portland? I think I saw some video. Didn't see the entire thing. But any good isekais you can suggest that aren't Overlord? Gate is certainly one that's fantastic. I'll give you my my list, actually. My list of isekais here, if you will. Gate, both seasons, fantastic. Konosuba's hilarious. It's kind of like a parody of isekai, but it's really good as well. You might like Log Horizon. I didn't really like it, if I'm honest with you. No Game, No Life is good, bar the if you watch it, you'll see why it makes me uncomfortable. Outbreak Company as well is fantastic. Outbreak Company is probably one of the better isekais I've seen. And of course, our ReZero, which I hold on the same level as Overlord, to be honest with you. Alex, UK vote, what was the result? Yes, Konosuba. What was the result? I believe the Conservatives lost a lot of seats in councils across the UK. Tanya the Evil is also a great one.
I'm back.
Hello. I was asked what's some good isekai anime.
Oh, that dirty Japanese cartoons.
The Japanese cartoons. The ones that I recommended to you there will satisfy you, especially Gate and Outbreak Company. Oh, and that time I got reincarnated as a slime. As Viper said to me once, that is the paragon opposite of Overlord.
Yeah. Cigar chomping penguin says my brother-in-law is the same way. He's an MD, but doesn't have the sense God gave a weed whacker. I know. I remember a time, and I dearly love and respect my father, but he didn't exactly exhibit the best judgment either. We were in Tennessee at Lookout Mountain. Lookout Mountain is an area that, as it's on a mountain, like this name says, and from there you can see 3 different states. Kind of a cool little thing. And he was trying to pose for a picture and backed up a little bit too far on a ledge and almost went over, which would have surely killed him had he failed there.
Yeah.
My sister, who has cerebral palsy, just out of reflex, reached out and grabbed him and kept him from falling.
Awesome.
And probably good that she reached with her bad hand, because cerebral palsy is just brain damage at birth, is what it is. And
yeah,
in her case, it was caused by the forceps they used during her delivery. And it had killed the left side of her brain, which is what controls the right side of your body. Now, if she had been born normal, she would have been right-handed, but because of that, she was forced to be left-handed. But whatever her left hand done, her right hand did. So she grabbed with her right hand and closed her left fist, and there was no way she was letting go. But yeah, wasn't the smartest thing my dad ever did.
Oh yeah, Black Clover as well. The thing is, mate, well, what Black Clover season am I on? You mean what arc? The thingy arc, what they're doing right now, the competition arc, the tournament, the fight tournament. Are any of them well written? Because Overlord was written by a retarded 2-year-old. Well, you know, functional. You know, if you want to be wrong, that's okay. You know, we have a place for people like you and their care homes, and you know, I mean, I used to look after people like you. I mean, they were a bit smarter, you know.
Don't get me in this conversation, because I think all that anime crap is retarded.
I mean, they were low functioning autists. Obviously, you're like way worse, but yeah. Yeah, the Conservatives got battered in the local elections, Bloodwing.
Yeah. So the results are in.
Well, they were yesterday. Yeah, they lost. How many was it? I mean, 1,335 councillor seats they lost.
Yeah. What do you think that? Any idea what that's due to? What do you think the biggest reason that is?
Well, yesterday on Twitter, the hashtag what was it? Remain Backlash got trending here in the UK. And a lot of people are putting it down to, you know, the way Brexit's been handled. The media spun it from a positive. Well, I wouldn't say from a positive. They spun it from the position that we need to get on with it, and that the majority of the country wants to just get on with it. Whereas the hashtag had thousands of people saying, no, this is because we don't want to leave, and that Brexit was a lie and all this other stuff. And it's just getting very messy.
Yeah, well, I didn't know, you know, like I said earlier in your stream today, I don't follow UK politics very much. So heck, I don't follow US politics.
it was local elections, mate. Like,
yeah. So I didn't know if maybe it had something to do with Brexit or, you know, something like that.
Yeah, local elections aren't that important in the grand scheme of things, you know. You'd be much better off like looking at even the EU elections. I'd never really considered to be that important.
Yeah,
it's the main, you know, general elections. You know, the big boy ones are most important in my mind. I mean, I'm still going to vote on the 23rd of May.
Yeah.
So,
and see, that's funny because here in the States, it's the exact opposite. If you want to affect change, you're more likely to do it on the local level. And anybody that understands American politics will understand that the local politics has a greater chance of affecting change than your federal. You know, the higher up you get, the less effective it is. So local elections here are often more important than the big ones.
yeah, I mean, obviously local councils, affect local change. And I guess they do what they can with what budget they have. They never really get a big budget anyway. And of course, they're the ones who affect things like council tax rates and things like that. But to me, they're just politicians.
Yeah,
I just, yeah.
I feel you.
The big issue for me is Brexit at the moment, and like the next thing is going to have to be the general election that sorts that out. So,
oh, good grief! I just realized what time it was. We're almost at that time.
oh yes, we are. Yes, we are.
My goodness, time flies when you're having fun. I was really enjoying our conversation earlier.
Oh, I'm glad. Good.
Should
we questions?
Yeah,
for a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to do that conversation thing more often.
Yeah, I agree.
Mimi says, but in American local politics, there are judges who get voted into positions so verdicts can be influenced by the voters, and that's true enough. That's true enough. But HT says this year's election should be interesting. Guy only got in due to weed legislation, which has been implemented terribly. Yeah, I don't know. My state is so red that we will probably be one of the last to legalize marijuana. I personally think that every state in the union will eventually do it, but it's going to take time. It's gonna take time. But and sheriffs, yeah. Of course, here where I live, the sheriff's office and the city police office have been merged into what is called the Metro Police.
Yeah.
So
I remember you telling me that before.
Mm-hmm.
A couple questions, guys, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we're almost there. So if you want your question, you better get them in quick. 2 minutes. 2 minutes till not showtime.
Whilst we wait for questions, I'll just read the headlines of these news bits that I managed to grab off of Reddit real quick. Man arrested for indecent images after turning his gravy-covered computer into Best Buy's Geek Squad. Gravy-covered pedo.
Gravy-covered.
Yep, his computer was covered in gravy, and he handed it back into Best Buy, and it had, well, I assumingly, when it says indecent images, I think it's child porn, and it's got to be some CP.
Was it man gravy?
I friggin' hope not.
Gravy. Okay.
Oh, this is really old. Why was this put in the Reddit then? They're ball bags. They are. They don't look at the dates before putting them in the bloody Reddit. But I'll read the headline anyway because it made me laugh. Lawmaker files bill to repeal state ban on dwarf tossing in bars.
What do you got against dwarf tossing?
I don't have anything. That's from back in 2011. That is.
Yeah.
That's all I had. That was from 2011. That's really annoying. The subreddits are supposed to be kept up to date. I guess not. I guess not.
Dwarf tossing matters too, and the dwarfs like it. Just ask them.
Well, they get paid to do it. So.
Yeah.
Don't really see the issue. Excuse me. Sorry. Why were they looking at his pictures though? Well, presumably he was giving it back, giving it back to them, and they probably wanted to clean the computer out of all the files, like reset it.
Yeah.
factory settings.
Yeah, they want to make sure that there's no personal files that might be passed on to the next person.
Well, I don't know what their typical MO is when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I assume it's to get rid of personal files if there are any. And they must, I guess they found something on it before they reset it to factory settings. I guess.
But we have now reached that period in time, folks, where we must bid you sweet adieu. And as always, thank you, chat, for coming out and supporting the live stream with your viewership and your likes and your shares. And thank you for those that were able to donate. I certainly appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Bear. As always, anything you want to give a shout out?
Yeah, yesterday I released a video on the RA Alex channel responding to some filthy furries. Go give it a watch, guys.
Yeah. Again, thank you, guys. The next Redneck Radio will be Tuesday at 2:30 EST. Join us then. And I think Tuesday's the 7th, and if it is, it's my wife's birthday. So yeah, like I said, a lot of May birthdays for this old man. But
yeah.
Anyway, thanks everybody, and as always, get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.